Welcome to another episode of Sport On. I'm glad to host this on behalf of ISM. Yes, my name is Shaju Ignatius, and it truly is a pleasure for me to kind of bring in some friends from the industry and the business here. So, quick recap of the last episode before we move in here. Last week we had the very insightful and very vibrant Roshan Abbas sharing his insights, his journey of his event management life, and how he got into sporting events, and then further his experience in sporting ceremonies like the IPL ceremonies, the South Asian Games, and much more. We spoke about his sporting life as well. Bollywood has a lot of Kapoor superstars. In the sports business, he is our rockstar Kapoor. Yes, I'm talking about Gaurav Kapoor, our very own superstar. He's a live show anchor. He's been a live show anchor, but he's a presenter, he's a creator, he's a producer, he's an entrepreneur, he's a charmer, and now he's also an angel investor. Today, you're going to give us some answers, some insights. It's a switch of the role today.
It's a switcheroo. This has been happening a bit to me recently. It is not a role I'm completely comfortable with. I like asking the questions. I like gathering the information because information is power. So I like to store it because when you store it, you become more powerful. But today I'm happy to share that power. From whatever little knowledge and little information that I have, I'm happy to share it.
GK, where did it all start? How did sports enter your life?
So, sports entered my life when I was 5 or 6 years old. I started watching cricket. My dad is very interested in cricket. So, it used to be on at home. I started watching it. I got quite fascinated by that. That then led to tennis. I had a Wimbledon fascination. Big fan of Edberg, Becker, Sampras, Agassi, that era. And then football. So, it just sort of started when I was single digits perhaps, and then went into my teens. But my sort of first gig on radio and then subsequently on television was with Channel V. So after doing Channel V for 5-6 years, I thought, I really want to do sport. Yeah, if I could just get a chance to do sport because it's live and it's talking about something I really like. I like music, but it's not my first love. So Channel V for me was fun, but it was, music is not. It's always sport and film are my combined first loves. I just got lucky, but the interest was there since I was 5-6 years old.
Wow. So really, it started that young, and that will always be there, right? In a sports fan, the passion is what gets you going always.
I think for being a sports broadcaster or for working in sport television, I think that's a must because days can be very long. If you're not interested in cricket, you can't sit and watch, 6 hours of a test match or 7.5, 8 hours of a one-day international, but only if you're really interested, because at that point in time, if you're not getting your own viewpoint, your own analysis, if you're giving viewers something that they already know, then you're not value adding, right? So you really got to be supremely interested in sport. You have to be obsessed with the sport. Absolutely obsessed. Like I could wake you up at 4 a.m. and say, there's a game on, and you'd say, yes. Yes. What's the score?
Up you go.
Right? So,
and you have so much information in here, so much knowledge, right? I think mostly at the snap of a finger, you have pretty much a lot of data in there. According to you, who is another person out there who's like an encyclopedia in sports knowledge out there who you interacted with or know of?
Yeah, Harsha Bhogle, Joy Bhattacharya. I mean, the two of them, and I've had the pleasure of sharing screen with them on CricBuzz. They are, when I say students of the game, they are not just students. They are front row students who put their hand up on every question that teacher asks. Those annoying students that you went to school with? It's like, abey niche kar le haath yaar, kya kar raha hai? Those guys, Sir Harsha Bhogle and Sir Joy Bhattacharya are both exactly those students. They remember everything. Out of the retired cricketers, the guys who, all of them. See, when you talk about their matches and when you talk about their career, their memories are amazing.
Give us a little flashback to IPL, right? And that was a change in the environment. Both for you personally in your career as well as for a lot of us here, sports fans. That was true sport attainment. How did that happen? How did that begin for you?
First season, I was not on IPL. Changed the format a little bit of extra innings. So I got a call and I said I'm supremely interested, of course. And I went in and I had a chat with them. And while I was speaking with them, I said, well, they said, how would you like to project yourself in this? I would like to have a serious conversation in a lighter vein, right? Why can't, why there is a difference between irreverence and disrespect. So we can play in irreverence without being disrespectful to the game. You, of course, accord the game the highest respect as possible, but you can have fun when you're discussing it, because the IPL is not like Puritan cricket. It's not test matches. It's carnival. It's a circus. It's the much bigger. Try and understand that it's a family audience that's watching. So you got to give them doses of entertainment, like you would be talking to your friends, and of course, still talk about the game. So I think that's where that balance came from. That very first meeting, it was always there. I always wanted to push it, but not too much. You know, we were not a comedy show. We were not a general entertainment show, but we were also a cricket show. So it was a tough balance, and we got criticized a lot. You know, the Puritan cricket crowd would say, "Ye to circus bana diya hai," you know. So we would get that criticism, but at the end of the day, the numbers, I guess, spoke. So, channel was happy, so they just kept calling me back every year.
And glad, yeah, we all enjoyed that. So thank you to everybody who was part of it.
I've been telling people, and I think it's very important, that this lockdown is not a productivity contest. It is actually a race for survival. Especially media businesses, it's been fairly hard because advertising revenue all but stopped.
Yes.
Commissioning by everybody was doing a wait and watch kind of thing. So there was very, very little money that was there in the market. And you know what they say, right? That 80% of companies pack up in 4 years. And the ones that survive for another 80% of those remaining will pack up in another 4 years, right? So this is something
Yes.
that I'd heard very early on. I said, as an entrepreneur, I have to make sure that not only are our cash reserves good, so we make sure that our burn is always minimized, we're always optimizing cost, we're always very cognizant of the resource to revenue ratio. So you could have for example, let's say if you have a 1 crore project, but you need 20 people on the team to work on it for 2 months. And you have a 50 lakh project, but you only need 10 people to work on it for 15 days, right? Now, are you chasing top line? Or are you chasing profitability? It's very important, right? Because what's the point of running a 100 crore company which is only making losses? Like today, when
Sure.
you see the Ubers and all of the world and WeWorks, and you're valued at 50 billion one day and you're 10 billion in 1 week after you propose your IPO. Yeah, so this is all fake inflation. So we're very cognizant of these things, and therefore always kept the eye on the long ball and said that let's not burn. There's no need to get a fancy office. There's no need to get 100 people when 20 can do the job. So luckily we went into this lockdown quite frugal, right? We were quite cost effective. We were quite optimum and we have a great team. So I think we said, fine, if for 3 months we have no revenue, we can still survive. We have no problem. But most importantly, revenue is as the founder of the company, revenue is my issue. It's not my team's issue as such. My team's bigger issue is to stay motivated, to still be doing work. So we did a town hall right in the beginning. And we said, guys, we have all now got to make sure that we don't think this is a holiday, right? But at the same time, we shouldn't I don't want any emails coming at 11 at night or at midnight or at 1 a.m. Let's attempt to work 6 to 8 hours a day. So I think that kept people motivated. It kept their eye on the ball. We've come up with 4 or 5 new show concepts, which we're going to be rolling out in the next few weeks. So I think that the team just by and large just took this really well, but it's been hard.
Some very well said words for anybody who wants to start a business or who's already in business, and how to effectively manage the shop. That's very well done.
So if I was to just knock it down straight, make sure that you optimize your resources, make sure that you have enough cash reserves at all time, because now we know that anything can happen, and keep your team motivated and make the goal more than just money, right? That's when pride in product will come. And I've always had this line कि अगर आप सरस्वती के पीछे भागोगे तो लक्ष्मी अपने आप आ जाएगी, right?
Wonderful lines, well said.
मेरे बाल भी मुकुट पहना था ना, महाभारत वाले बाल तो वैसे ही हो गए मेरे.
You created your own IPL, Isolation Premier League. Give us a little bit about that. It was fun. I watched a couple of episodes.
So how this started was, हम बैठे हुए थे, हमने कहा कि a lot of people had started doing shows. मैंने कहा ये तो थोड़ा lazy option है. राइट? अगर ऐसे आप लॉन्जिविटी वाला शो नहीं बना सकते, ऐसा आप अभी जो हम कर रहे हैं वो बना सकते हैं, जब लोग आते हैं सवाल पूछते हैं, थोड़ा चबाते हैं, चले जाते हैं। हमको कुछ अगर लॉन्ग टर्म बनाना है तो वो इस इंटरफेस पे नहीं बन सकता। हम
True.
उसको अलग तरीके से शूट करेंगे और थोड़ा सा माउंट करके बनाते हैं इन अ वे दैट दिस शो कैन हैव सम लॉन्जिविटी। सो we in Oak Tree Sports, we try to make content which is time agnostic. Okay, if you watch it after 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you should still be able to get entertained, right? Then this idea came of playing 20 questions. We all played 20 questions as kids. We've all played, the yes and no kind of 20 questions. So we said T20, 20 questions. Let's play on IPL, so Isolation Premier League, and talk about this aspect of cricketers and sports people that nobody knows, which is that they know their records for the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years by a heart.
Right.
By a heart. And I learned this first from Sachin. Sachin just remembers, and if you watch his episode of Breakfast with Champions, we did that. I asked him questions without telling him. I asked him questions. He remembered 95 में कुछ 83 runs लगाए थे 57 balls में, and that century came in Nagpur, and that one came. I was like, how do you remember? अगर हम जैसे लोग हो ना जिन्होंने 1-2 सेंचुरी मारी हो गली क्रिकेट में तो याद भी रहते हैं, ठीक है? उसने 100 मारी है, 100।
Yeah,
मैंने कहा ये दिखाते हैं लोगों को, तो इसलिए
nice.
आया। Yeah,
very nice, nice. The minds, they're very sharp out here. They may not seem like that, soft-spoken, or sometimes they don't kind of show that side of it. We only see them from their sporting talent, but they have multiple talent behind the scenes, right?
They have very high EQs. Their emotional quotients are very high because they have gone through life with a lot of hard knocks. So emotional quotient बड़ा high हो जाता है. किताबें 100 ना पढ़ी हो उन्होंने, but their emotional quotient is high because they've seen a real spectrum of life. And their analytical thinking is very good because they are constantly making choices.
You started as a presenter, I mean, from an anchor, presenter, you were always a front of cam. And then you went into production, your own outfit, right? So how did this transition happen and how are you seeing it further?
I think through the years, what happened is that you keep doing stuff and then you keep gaining knowledge and perspective, and then you want ownership of the entire process. As a performer, you're always last mile connectivity. As an entrepreneur, as a creator, you are there when the first spark comes, right? And then you see the birth and the growing up of that, and you nurture it. It's like a tree almost. And for me, I was excited about doing that. Felt there could be more efficiencies in process, or you could do this a different way. And it's not right for me to say that when I'm part of somebody else's project, because then I'm stepping on somebody's toes. I can suggest it, but I can't control it. So I said, well, put your money where your mouth is. And that's the best way to do it, right? Either you can sit on the sidelines and complain ki ye kya ho raha hai, or you can try and do it yourself. And
nice one. And congrats. It's great content you've been pulling out, right? Breakfast with Champions.
How much of that you got and how much of that you missed because of poor connection?
I think we pretty much got almost everything. Maybe the visual is slightly hazy.
Nilesh has a question. I definitely want to take that. Handling failure and learning from it. I have this attitude, which creative people find amusing. But I have this neki kar darya mein phenk kind of attitude, which is commit to the process and detach from the result. And I think that's very important for creative people or anyone working on a project. I think when you're working on the project, you're giving it 100%, you're being sincere to the process, you are you're committing yourself and you make it. But once you make it, you have to tell yourself that now it is not yours anymore. To be sent in the world, you did your best, you made it. Now how people react to it is not in your hands. Commit to the process and detach from the result, and therefore then you can learn from it. So even if it's a success, even if it's a failure, you learn from it both ways. Now what happens is if you're still connected, like this is my child, you never want to hear anything bad about your child from anyone else, right?
Okay, so we'll head towards let's say what we call a finale phase. How do you think or say that how the sports scenario will cope up with in the Indian circumstance or globally? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the one thing is that at least when cricket comes back, definitely for a while, you can expect it to be happening in stadiums without an audience. But of course, it will be on television, and you have to remember that 99.9% of cricket viewership is actually on television, right? Because you can only get
So there's two things that is going to trouble them. One is for a lot of them with the Olympics getting postponed, Wimbledon getting cancelled, French Open getting cancelled or pushed. A lot of them are going to end up missing a year, right? You miss a season effectively.
The season, yeah.
Now what happens? You know what happens is that for a professional athlete, you're working at such an extreme level that 1 year doesn't come back. Secondly, getting back into peak performance after pretty much sitting or not playing high intensity sport for 2 months, 3 months, they'll have to be very slow and very careful to avoid injury and to get back into that rhythm and to get back into that sort of, I'm convinced that in a few months, sport can be, especially cricket in India, can be quite Teflon coated, can be quite bulletproof. So I think that definitely the money will come back.
The first winning team of IPL won.
Let's see. I don't know what question are you asking? Science. Yeah, Rajasthan Royals won the first IPL.
Yeah, now T2 coming for you.
So Rajasthan Royals, then Deccan Chargers.
Okay, the next one. And with your permission, it's a Lee-loaded question. I picked it up from one of your shows. How many Olympics has Leander Paes competed at? How many Olympics as a super champ?
And it's 6 and it was going to be 7 this time. He was going to go for sure.
But really, what a player. The only tennis player to be at so many Olympics ever, right? Cheers to Leander, man, and his enthusiasm and his spirit for India. Thanks to everybody, all of you who joined in. And it's been a pleasure to continue the Sport On series. We are here every Friday, 6 p.m. Sport On will be here once again with a new episode. Until then, stay sporty, stay happy, and I'll see you next Friday.